Okay, so now on the calendar page, we can select a user and see only the user's calendar. And we'll make it so that we can also select a classroom and a course. So let's add these additional filters. We'll just go here and say select tag, and we'll select not only user but also classroom, and we will also select course ID. So here we will have classroom.all, and here we'll have course.all, prompt classroom, prompt course. And we are going to do the same here for the second select option. So it will be classroom and classroom, course and course, 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 and again classroom and classroom. Okay, let's see. Now we must have possibility to select a user, a classroom, and the course. Let's select one of the courses, and you see nothing changes. Why doesn't it change? Oh, let's see why. Now we don't have any user selected, but we have a classroom or a course selected. It's because here we have only unless params user ID present, but we want to say if any of the params is present. Actually, we can do it in another way. We can say something like if params, no, we can do something like unless params dot has key, and we will say like user ID. So even if it is not present, even if user ID is not present, so if it is nil, we already have a query open. And this way we are checking if there is any query. So if there is like a user ID present, if we have this present, but not the value present. Let's see now. I'll go back. I will see. Okay, we have a course selected. Now let's select the classroom and let's select a student. Do we have user ID, classroom ID, course ID? Okay, so now we can select each of them. Looks nice. We can select a classroom, a student, and a room. But still, we can make this filtering work only based on the student. So let's improve our controller method. So now we say, if params user ID is present, then we search for user. And we will improve this method. How will we do it? Let's say like this. Lessons equals lesson dot includes all the stuff. And additionally, we will be adding some additional filters. So lesson equals lesson dot includes, and we'll say if params user ID is present, then we will say lessons equals lessons, and then we will have this where statement. So we are kind of taking these lessons, and if user ID is present, then we add this additional where statement. And we will do the same for classrooms and for courses. We'll have and we will say the same for classroom ID and course ID. If params classroom ID present, lessons where classroom ID equals params classroom ID. And here course ID, and here course ID. And in the end, we will say lessons equals add lessons equals lessons dot all. Okay, and here once again we will check if there is a params has key user ID. So we don't have to have a user ID present. We can just have any search query present. Basically, by this we're checking if there is any search query. Otherwise, we show all the lessons. Okay, let's see if this would work. So let's say we have room 2. I will select room 2. We see these lessons. I select room 3. We see no lessons. I refresh. Then we have course 2 and course 1 in room 2. Again, I select room 2. I have 2 courses. I will select course 2. And I see only the lessons with course 2. I select course 1. I see only lessons with course 1. I will refresh. Now here we have admin, here we have student. Let's select room 2. And in room 2, I will select admin. And in room 2, I will select student. And we see only the student lessons. So this way we can already filter the lessons in the calendar by 3 different parameters: by user, by classroom, and by course. So looks quite nice to me. And what have we done? We have added additional select tags for classroom ID and for course ID. And we have changed this query to check just if there is a params present. So before we had to see to it that a user ID is present, and now we are just checking if the search query user ID is present. And basically this way we are checking that there is at least some kind of search query. And here we build up our lessons.all based on these 3 additional conditions. So for example, if we have a classroom and a user ID present, lesson all will be lesson where user ID present, classroom ID present, and all these includes. So I think it looks totally perfect. And now I will just save the changes, git status, git add all, and I'm gonna do a comment. And that's it for now.